All right, we've taken the hole and we've broken it into two parts, phase 1 and phase 2. And in those two phases, we've broken it down into many different little pieces. Sound overwhelming? Well, really it's not. Let's put it all back together as a whole so you have something to refer to back. And as we're working with these beginning pictures during the rest of this video, you can have my motion to refer back to so that you know what it's supposed to look like. All right, Coach, we're going to stand back and watch. Remember in the beginning of the tape we talked about it's important to stand back and watch your pitcher's strengths and challenges so that we can pick focus areas to concentrate on and go from there. So stand back and watch the wide variety of pitches that we have here today, and then we're going to walk through it one by one and give you your roadmap to success. All right, Coach, let's watch Lindsay for a minute. You might not be noticing some of the things that I'm noticing, but one of the first things that I see is that she lacks the explosive drive that we want her to have going towards that catcher. Not only that, we want to make sure that she uses that power line as a line of reference and that her feet are planting at about a 45-degree angle or at 1 and 2 o'clock. The next thing that I'm going to see is she looks very mechanical upstairs. Let's get her to be really loose and relaxed so that she can really help that explosive drive towards the catcher. And the final thing that I can notice to help Lindsay get to that next level is for you to help point out to her that she needs to finish off that rotation during that drive towards the catcher so that the navel is back where it needs to be in the beginning. All right, the first thing we're going to give her for her plan of attack is have her work on that explosive drive towards the catcher. Draw that power line for her so that she has a line of reference. And what we're going to do is that power line comes, remember, right from that left foot with a relatively straight line towards the catcher, and have her set up. And what we're going to do is have her freeze in that phase 1. So she'll go through her motion and go for a power drive and come here and freeze. Go ahead and have your pitcher look down at their feet. Are they at a 45-degree angle, and did they drive hard towards the catcher? Let's have her do one or two. Good. Really drive this time. Drive and freeze in phase 1. You don't even have to let go of the ball. And let's see where your feet are. Good. Notice how this leg here slid forward. We want to be here in phase 1, right here. Okay, one more. Better. Still the foot drug through, and we want it to be right here. One more time. Get that foot to stand here. You're not even going to have, I want your arms to freeze right up here. Better, better. And let's do this right here. Okay? Check our feet out 45 degree. Good. All right, now that we've accomplished that, the next thing that I'm going to give her is I want her to concentrate on being a rag doll upstairs. So we're going to get her to be nice and loose and relaxed and feel like that arm is a whip. And the way we're going to do that is have her go halfway through her motion right here so that we're in phase 1 right from here and work on that nice, loose, relaxed whipping motion through there. Good. Now let's not forget the glove arm. Get that glove arm going through. Help pull it down. All right, Coach, and the last thing that I've noticed, once we've done this to her, she is now doing great with her arms, but we're missing that rotation with the hips. So what we're going to have her do is go right back to the mound and start from the very beginning and have her concentrate on squaring and closing off or the follow-through. I want you to notice that we had her work on one piece at a time. And now what we're going to have her do is try to put all three of those pieces together. Remember, the 45-degree angle with the foot plant, the explosive drive towards the catcher, the nice loose and relaxed upper body, and the closing of the hips, the follow through to give her that explosive drive and move her to that next level. Good, good. Leg drive looked great. That's okay, good, good. You had great leg drive. One more. Good, Lindsay. Great. All right, I think one of the first things you're going to see on Brooke as a coach is what a great full arm swing that she has. It really reaches for the sky, which is imperative for the beginning pitcher to be able to create that next level. But one of the things that you might not have noticed at this point in time is Brooke really never closes her hips and leaves them open the entire time. That leaves a lack of power. The other thing I want you to look at as we're doing this once again is that she's having a hard time landing on that power line with her feet at a 1 or 2 o'clock degree on that watch. And so we want her to work on correcting that so that she can move to that next level. And the final thing that I see her doing is she's doing great taking her time and being relaxed. But remember, we want her to be explosive all the way through that pitch. All right, Brooke, the first thing that we're going to have you work on is work on really driving as hard as you can towards Lindsay, okay? And what I'm going to have you do is remember that power line that we have come right through here. I want you to work on driving out as hard as you can with your arms and with your leg right on out to her and freezing here at phase 1, arms up here, both here, and looking down at your feet and seeing where they're at. I'm going to have you do that a couple times and just look, okay? Here we go. Good. See how we're here at 3 o'clock? Let's move it. There we go. Good. Both feet. See? Come back. There we go. That's what we want. We want to be here. Okay, so that our feet are at 1 or 2 o'clock on that thing. All right, one more time. Better. Better. Good. That you're feeling it. Not necessarily going to make it as quick as you think, but as long as we can start feeling where those are. And remember, both feet. See where this is pointing? We want both feet at a 45-degree angle. And you'll get more comfortable with that, all right? And the next thing that I'm going to have you work on is when you're going through this, I want you to come to the mound and I want you to go ahead and go to phase 1 and freeze, okay? But then from here, what we're going to work on is the closings of the hips, so that's drive, kind of like we're hitting, that we rotate into that ball. Same thing from here. I want you to come here, boom, and finish up right back at your catcher, okay? Good. Now finish it and snap those hips close. Better. Good. Don't worry about where the ball goes. Let's just use one thing at a time. Working on closing or rotating those hips, throwing that door closed. Good. Better. We still left our hips open. Let's really concentrate on getting our navel right back at your catcher's forehead. Good, fantastic. All right, and the final thought we're gonna leave for her as a player to work with is we really want that glove arm active. Remember that whipping or that pushing and pulling that we feel like it's a T and we're coming through here and closing it all together. So what I want you to do is go ahead and get in what we call like a T stance here. Make sure our feet are at that 45-degree angle and that glove arm's pointing out towards our catcher. What you're gonna do is feel like there's a piece of paper coming up right through here and you wanna come boom, snap right through here. So what we want her to do, coach, is snap and cut that piece of paper nice and loose and relaxed in half. 45, good, good, go. Wonderful, wonderful, one more. All right, coach, let's have her put all three things together so we can put it back to whole. We're gonna have her concentrate on driving explosively to the catcher, landing on that power line at a 45-degree angle, 1 or 2 o'clock on the watch. Have her really concentrate on pushing and pulling and whip-like action with the arms and the closing or the follow-through and the snapping shut of that door with her hips. All right, Brooke. Wonderful. Looks great. Good job. All right, Coach, notice how she has a different pre-motion than other pitchers, and that's great. What gets her to that final driving forward is the most important. Remember, that's her dance. All right, Karen might be at a little bit different level than some of the beginning pitchers that you've seen or that you're working with at home, but I want you to keep in mind that we can help her advance to that next level. One of the things I want you to notice is how she kind of jumps off the mound as opposed to push. Remember, we're trying to get all of the power to come up from the toes all the way up and be delivered onto that ball. So we want her to really concentrate on pushing from that mound in through the pitch on that power line. Another thing that you might not have noticed at this point is when Karen's releasing the ball, her shoulders are dipping over. And what we might talk about is how I want you to pretend like there's a bookshelf on your shoulders, and if you dip to one side, all of those books fall off. All right, Karen, let's give you your first line of attack. What I want you to concentrate is when you're pitching here, is I want you to concentrate. Your drive is fantastic. You're going hard at the plate, and that's great. But when you're coming out here and you're planning, which you're doing pretty good, getting at a 45-degree angle, we're coming this direction and we're dipping, and we're going to lose our power driving forward. We don't want to fall away from the pitch. We want to drive forward. So what I want you to concentrate is going through your pitch and finishing back up through that follow-through, ready to play defense. All right, great. Now let's go from a whole motion, and I want you to go all the way through your pitch and really concentrate on following through and coming through. And as if you have a bookshelf on those shoulders, if you lean one way or the other, those books fall off. Wonderful, wonderful. Good, one more. That's great. All right, Coach, this last thing that we're going to do might seem a little bit different to you, but what we're going to do is I'm going to come on her side, her throwing side, and on her foot that she tends to be jumping on is I'm just going to put a little pressure with my foot so that she feels it staying there and driving through it. So all I'm going to do is come right up here and put my foot on. Go ahead. Good. Really push through that. Make sure as a coach when you're stepping on her foot that you come off so that she can actually follow through. Good, wonderful. All right, let's put it all together now, Karen. I want you to concentrate on a big drive by keeping that foot on the ground and driving explosively towards home. And I want you to think about those books with the shoulder so that they're not falling off and you're off balanced, okay? Good. Wonderful, one more. Great drive, great drive. Nice job. All right, Coach, what I'm seeing happen right here to Brittany as she's pitching is notice how her glove arm does a great job of coming up, but then it really stays at her hip and it almost becomes like that dead arm that you'll see in a lot of beginning pitchers. So we want to make sure that that gets real active in her pitch. The other thing that you're going to see is her hips don't close off quite as much as they will, and that's really happening because she's bending a little bit at the waist on her delivery point. Right now what we're going to have you do is the first thing I want you to concentrate on is when you're coming out here and landing on that power drive, I want you to concentrate as if I have a string attached to your navel and you keep this out so that you're going to be here working to where your belly's kind of arched back a little bit and not bending forward. Okay, so right here you're going to come right here and you're going to plant and you're going to feel like you're standing upright as if Karen's got that rope pulling your tummy just a little bit forward. Almost as if you feel like you're getting up from that back bend. You want to feel those stomach muscles working, okay? Good. Don't worry about where the ball goes. All we're working on is just this one phase here, getting that belly out a little. Good. Good job. One more. Good. All right, the next one we're going to have you work on is right now during your glove arm comes up great and it comes here and it stays right here at your side the entire time. What we want to point out to our coach is that she's got a lot more balance if they're here. And remember that push and pull or that snapping direction that comes in here, that's what we want to see. So during your motion, all I want you to concentrate on now is after that glove comes up here, I want you to feel it, boom, snap you right through. Okay? Good. One more. Good, try it one more time and really concentrate on using that glove arm, help close those hips off. Great. All right, coach, it's really important to remember that advancing to that next level takes some time and takes a lot of patience, not only from you as a coach, but also from your player. So concentrate on using positive terms and really encourage them and make sure that they know what they're doing right as long as you're pointing things out that they can work on at the same time. All right, coach, let's watch Christy here closely. She's doing a great job of driving off, but notice where her hips end up. She never quite closes that pitch or squares back up, and that's the rotation that we want her to work on. She's got a wonderful wrist snap. What we want to really concentrate on is that explosive drives forward, which will really help close that. All right, Christy, what we're going to do this first time is I'm going to have you concentrate on closing those hips. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to have you get in phase one so that you've already gone through your dance or the pre-motion. And you're going to get right up here with everything pointing towards that catcher. And then all I want you to work on is this drive forward and pulling yourself close so that you end up with your navel right back at your catcher. Okay? Okay, no problem. I actually want you to start from this part right here though. I want you to start from here, phase one, right here, with your hands catching or pointing towards your catcher here. So you're gonna start from this position and you're gonna snap it close so that we see that hip close and the rotation happen. Okay? Good. Wonderful. Good. One more. Good. All right, coach, and the last thing we're going to have her concentrate on here is I want you to go through your entire motion, and what I want you to really think about, the only thing I want you to think about is when you're going through your motion, I want you to think about snapping those arms, this arm pulling through like a whip and this arm pulling right back down towards your side, and that will also help close you, okay? Good. Good. Now let's put both of those together, and what I want you to do is concentrate on being nice and loose and relaxed through that pitch. Really drive out explosively towards her with your arms, towards your catcher. Come through and really concentrate on snapping through. You don't have to pause, but I want you to feel yourself pull your body close as if you're swimming through a pool, okay? Wonderful. Great push off. That looks fantastic. One more. Good job. All right, coach, by now when we're looking at Kendria, we can see that she's having a slight challenge in getting both of her arms driving towards that catcher. Remember, those two arms add a lot of force and take her hard forward. The other thing that you're going to notice, and it's very common on a beginning pitcher to help them advance, we need to really have them concentrate on getting those hips closed after that release. It doesn't necessarily happen all at one time, but you want to make sure that they're finishing up that follow through and coming back through. Also, the last thing I want you to see is her wrist snap tends to be very stiff and not real loose so that it can be a clean, crisp snap. So we're going to work on a pendulum type motion with her on working on that snap. All right, Kendria, the first thing that we're going to have you do is I'm going to have you go ahead and get in a phase one, and I'm going to have you move up just a little bit closer here. And all I want you to work on is taking that arm right now and just letting it flop down there. You don't even have to let go of the ball. I just want to see it nice and loose and relaxed go through there. Good. Okay, now notice how you're pulling that ball up deliberately. Let me have your arm up here. Let me have it. Let me hold it. Let me have it. Let me hold it. No, you're holding it. Watch. See, your arm's staying up.
Okay.
I want to hold it. See this? Nice and loose and relaxed. That's what I want you to feel that. So I want you to feel this. Boom. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to curl in tight. What I want to see here is nice and loose and relaxed. Boom. Finish through. Because see, when this happens, that closes your hips. Okay, so what we're showing her is a nice loose and relaxed motion in here so that that whipping arm, like a pendulum, pulls that door closed. Okay, so go ahead and start from phase 1 and do a few like a pendulum, whipping that door closed. Good. Better. Nice and loose and relaxed. Whip it closed. Whip it closed. Good. One more. Good. All right, the next thing I'm going to have you work on, Kendria, and as a coach, you want to make sure that you point out that their arms are driving out towards that catcher. So come back here for me. What I want you to do is get just like you're going to pitch the ball like you've been doing. And when you concentrate coming forward, instead of your glove arm coming here, I want to see them really drive out towards your catcher, as almost if you're trying to reach out and grab her. Okay, so concentrate on and coming out and grabbing that catcher and going all the way through your motion. Okay. Good. Good. Again. Good. One more time. Reach out and grab that catcher. And as you're doing a great job grabbing, don't forget, close it. Pull those arms down. Good. Again. That's okay. One more. Good. And the last thing that we're going to point out for her as a piece in her part is what I want you to do is when you come through here, instead of falling off to this side and getting off balance, I want you to concentrate on driving right down that power line, boom, boom, all the way through. And I'm only hesitating to show you that I'm not falling one way or the other. We really want to be on balance and go towards that catcher. If I was going to hit you, I'm not going to hit you this way to get power. I'm going to go right at you, right, to get the power from my legs. That's what we're working on, okay? Great, again, looking better. Remember, balance going forward, drive forward. Good, one more. All right, Kendria, let's wrap this up, and as a coach, let's put all three of those things together. Remember the balance and the drive with the arms going forward, the pulling back, and the whipping of that arm through so that we get that closed rotation, okay? Wonderful. All right, Coach, even with Taylor, we see a different dance, and she's doing something a little bit different, but that's okay. What we want to do is make sure that she's getting to that beginning stage, and she does a pretty good job of doing that. Remember, all beginning pitchers are at different levels, even in that phase of being a beginning pitcher. So let's work with Taylor where she's at right now. A few of the things that you might notice that she's doing by now is that when her glove arm goes up through her motion, it comes up towards her chest as opposed to driving out towards the catcher. It's essential that we get both the arms and the legs driving towards that catcher at the same time. The other thing that you're going to see is what I call lazy legs. That's not a negative term. What that basically is saying that she's not really exploding or driving towards that catcher. Remember, we want to talk about them sprinting and getting a quick, hard, fast start off that mound, pushing off. Same thing here as a pitcher. All right, Taylor, the first thing that we're going to work on for you, what I want you to concentrate on, is in your motion. Instead of your glove arm coming here, I want to see your glove arm driving out towards that power line, okay? That's going out towards your catcher. So you're throwing your arms out, which is going to take your body that way and allow your legs to really drive all the way through the pitch. Let's throw a couple like that, okay? Good, better. Use those glove arms, reaching out towards that catcher on that power line and closing through. Wonderful. One more. Good. Also, what I'm going to have Taylor do, and she does a really good job, she's starting to push out more, and that really happened just because we're getting her hands to reach out on that power line, is really concentrate on landing on that power line. You're going to hear that a lot when you're coaching brand new pitchers and even being a new pitching coach, because this right here in phase one with those legs makes the difference of going from one level to the next and advancing on past that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw that power line for you once again, which is going to be that main line of emphasis that's going to come off your step foot. What I want you to do is concentrate on as you're drawing. Good, good. One more time. Good. One more time. Before you do that, coach, notice as her arms are going out, they're going up. Remember, we're driving out. We want to drive out towards that catcher, okay? Good. Good. Just came a little, that's okay, you just came far past that, that's fine. Notice that we corrected that one problem with the hand. Now this time I want you to concentrate on that power line and freeze right here and look down at your feet. Okay, good. See this here? We had a foot here and a foot here. Remember, both are here because that way we leave that weight here to push through. Okay, really important to emphasize that they have that weight left back on that dry foot to push through the pitch for power and explosing. So what we're going to do is go through the whole pitch now, and I want you to concentrate on those arms driving out, but what I want you to concentrate is, remember, landing on that power line and exploding back through and finishing off that pitch. Okay, let's put it all together. Good. Explode. Explode. Good. Remember, we're working really fast through this and only giving them 1 or 2 pitches here to make that correction. It can take a day, it can take weeks, and it sometimes can even take months or years to fix one particular challenge that a beginning pitcher is working on. Don't worry about it. It'll gradually come or it might quickly come, but you'll get them to that next level, and that's our goal. All right, coach, we're working with Jody, and the best thing about Jody is she's a lefty, so that gives us a whole new concept of working with a beginning pitcher because you're going to have both, and we definitely need more lefties in the game. They're a great source to have, and if it's a different look for a hitter, it gives us the advantage as a pitcher. One of the things that I want you to watch with Jody, and we haven't talked much about it today, is her feet on the plant of the mound. Notice how close they are together. If I were to walk up to Jody and just touch her, she'd fall off balance. And remember, we want to start in balance for the most part before our dance so that we can work on the transfer of the weight. And that's one of the things that will work on her. Another thing that is very common with the beginning pitcher to make them get to that next advanced level is we need to make sure that they're not bending at the waist, almost looking as a bowler. And that's something that you'll see. They lose a lot of power and they lose a lot of force, and they'll never be able to reach that next level unless we correct that. Another thing that you'll see Jody doing with her hand is her glove arm is definitely, she does not drive out towards the pitcher, or catcher, excuse me. And the reason that you see that a lot of times is because she is bending over. So right now, when you hear us talking about it, she's really got one problem that's creating another. So if we fix one, then we can easily move on to the next. Jody, the first thing that I want you to work on is planting on your feet. And this is going to be hard because it's kind of like learning a dance all over again. Remember, you have to have patience with this because this is your personality. So what I want you to do is right now your feet are here. And if I was to touch you, you'd fall off balance. So we want to make sure that our pitcher's in balance. And you don't have to start in balance, but we want your feet far enough apart that you can have and feel that weight transfer. So you're just going to go ahead and pitch, but we want your feet farther apart so that you've got that ability to transfer the weight into your pitch, okay? And if you want to go ahead and rock and start into that pitch to feel it, great, but I want you to feel your feet farther apart and feel that balance as you're driving forward. Okay, good, but let's go ahead and spread those feet apart. I want them at least shoulder length apart right now, width apart. There you go, good. Good, better. Don't worry about where the ball goes. One more time, let's really work on that. There you go, good. Good, all right, great. Now, the next thing that we're going to see is, if you notice with Jody, she's bending forward. And that's all right if we got back up to make our drive forward. But what I want you to concentrate on now, and I'm going to go ahead and do it right-handed because I do it better that way. But what we're going to do is go ahead and put you here. What I want you to concentrate on is taking those arms driving out as if you're standing up. I want you to think about a kitchen table being in front, and if you bend over, you hit your head on it, okay? So during your pitch, you're going to come here, and as you drive, I want you driving out this way. And we're landing, remember, on that 45-degree angle or our power line, which I'll drive for you right here. You're landing, and I want you standing up when you release that ball. So if I put it on a left-handed side, you would be here at that 45-degree angle, and you're going to stand up. I want you to feel those stomach muscles working during this pitch. That's all we're concentrating on, okay? Good, much better. You stayed up, much better. Really concentrate on getting that belly out and feeling those stomach muscles work, okay? Good. One more. Good. Final area that you're going to concentrate on right now is a really easy drill. What I'm going to have you do is go ahead and get on that power line in that 45-degree angle with your feet, and I want your glove arm pointing out towards your catcher. Arms up here like you're just come to this point and we froze you in your pitch, okay? And then what I want you to think about is this glove arm's up here. We're not down here at our leg being dead. We want it up here, and we want to push and pull and use them together to snap through so that we're closing off and we're snapping through there. Make sure when you do that you don't leave your hips open. We want to feel it happen all at one time and close. And you just can go from a half motion, okay? Let's do a few of those. Wait a second, 45-degree angle with your feet. There you go, good. Good. Push and pull. Good. That's great. Don't worry about the ball. What I want you to really feel is that snap, whip and pull, as if you're trying to push yourself through a pool of water, okay? Good. Much better. Again. One more. Good. Okay, coach, let's try to have her put them all together. And this is going to be hard because we've got different areas that we're concentrating on. All I want you to do is go ahead and go back to your motion. Pay attention, okay, with your feet. Let them get close. Let's keep them far so that we have that bounce, so we can feel that weight transfer. And the next thing that I want you to concentrate on are those arms driving out towards the catcher so that we're coming this way, okay? And then the final thing that you're doing, remember when we got to phase one and we're here, right? I want you to concentrate on pushing and pulling through it. Now that's a lot of information, so think about it before you do it, say it to yourself, and then pitch the ball, okay? Good, better, that's okay. Remember your glove arm. That's okay. One more for me. Nice and loose and relaxed. Say it to yourself before you start. Good. All right, Coach, what we've shown you today are various different beginning pitchers at all different levels. And you saw lots of good things that many of them did and a lot of different challenges that we had to work with. They were all different in their own unique way. I've been coaching for many years, and you have to realize that you have to take your time, be patient, and sometimes what you say might be very clear to you, but that beginning pitcher or that young pitcher hears it in a whole new concept. Like you saw me working with that left-hander. It was very clear that I told her to spread her feet apart. After that next pitch, she hadn't done it. So what I needed to do was change the way I did it and physically show her. Sometimes you might say something to one pitcher and they get it immediately, and other times you might have to physically show them or even say it in a different way. Keep in mind what you say might not be what they hear, and that's the most important thing, is getting that pitcher to hear what you're saying and actually feel it so that they can advance themselves to that next level. We took you through a whole gamut of pitches with a whole bunch of different types of motions, different challenges, and we threw little things. be very patient with these girls that we did, because we threw things with them in a matter of a couple minutes and tried to get them to make those changes. That's the same thing that you're going to experience. Some of those changes might change in a minute, some of them might change after a hard day's work, some might not happen over weeks or even months. You have to be patient, and remember, each person learns at a different pace, but the whole point is to get that picture to that next level. And once again, my philosophy is don't fix something that's not broken. Not broken doesn't mean they're winning all their games. It's working on trying to get them to that next level. Stand back, watch what they do naturally, and work with their challenges and emphasize what they do correctly. And both you and your pitcher will both be winners.